Hey lovelies, it's Ebony and I'm back on this Thanksgiving Eve with a DIY hair mask video for you. Now for this mask, you're going to need a measuring cup, a mixing utensil, and a bowl. Now for the mask, you're going to need some clay. I use the Indian healing clay and some apple cider vinegar. Make sure it's organic with the mother. And you're also going to need any type of oil that your hair likes. I'm using sweet almond oil as well as avocado oil. And just in case you're wondering, I found all these ingredients at the vitamin shop. I really like this recipe because you can modify it however you need to. The recipe that I'm using, I had to double it because I have a lot of thick hair. So I use a cup of the healing clay. Then I add in a half cup of the apple cider vinegar. I found this recipe on naturallycurly.com a couple years ago, so I'll make sure to put the link in the description box below. One very important thing to remember when mixing this hair mask is to make sure you put the clay in first and then the apple cider vinegar in second. That way the apple cider vinegar can kind of break down the clay a little bit, because this is going to be a very chunky clay and you don't want to add, say for example, the clay, then the oil, then the water, and then add the apple cider vinegar. It'll just make things much harder to stir around. So doing it this way will make things much easier in the end. And another important thing to do, which I probably should have mentioned first, is to make sure you don't use any metal materials when mixing this clay. Don't use a metal bowl, don't use a metal spoon or stirring utensil. Like, just make sure you use something ceramic or wooden or plastic, because if you use anything with metal in it, it'll actually activate the clay itself, and by the time you put it in your hair, the clay won't be strong enough to do what it needs to do for your hair. It'll all just be a waste. Now, as you can see, I've added the oil to the mixture. I added about a quarter cup total of avocado and sweet almond oil. I wish I would have just used a full half cup, because it could have used a little more oil in my opinion once I was putting it in my hair. It was fine, but I kind of just wish I used more. But because I have low porosity hair, I have to be very careful about how much oil I'm putting in my hair in general, because it will for the most part just sit on top of my strands. That's why I chose sweet almond oil and avocado oil. Both of those oils absorb quickly, making it ideal for low porosity hair as opposed to something thick like an olive oil or castor oil. And the last ingredient for the mixture is just plain old water. I'm pouring water from my spray bottle, just as much as I need to get the mixture as smooth as I want it. You can make the mixture really thick, or you can make it pretty smooth and loose. It's really up to you and what you feel like is going to be best for your hair. So the ingredients in the recipe tells you to put maybe like, I don't know, 3 tablespoons or something, but of course I doubled my recipe, so I'm going to need way more than that. And then, you know, depending on how much oil and apple cider vinegar you put into the mixture, that'll determine how much water you'll probably need in the end. So I don't want to add any more water to this mixture. It was a little chunky, but I was fine with that. It was pretty much as smooth as it was going to get. Now it's time to apply the mixture to my hair, and yes, this is freshly washed hair. I thought about doing it on just like, you know, not washed hair with old product on it just to see how it would work, but I mean, I don't know. I really feel like the best thing to do is put it on freshly washed hair. That way the clay doesn't have to fight through layers of like curl enhancing smoothies and gels and whatever oil is left over in my hair. So I suggest washing your hair first, and I know it's a lot of work, but it will be worth it in the end. Because think about it, you have to get your scalp and your hair clean anyway, so you might as well just get that out of the way. And just in case you're wondering, yes, this mask can go onto your scalp. I actually encourage you to use it on your scalp if you have a lot of issues with product buildup and dandruff, because the apple cider vinegar that's in the mask will help fight the bacteria that's on your scalp that helps to feed the dandruff. So go right ahead and just massage that stuff in, girls. Kind of like exfoliation at the same time for your scalp. So all it's going to do is get everything clean so the follicles are nice and clear for growth. And just so you know, once I had the mask applied throughout my whole head, I just let the mask air dry. Last time I did this, I used a steamer, and that was cool, you know, but I wanted it to air dry this time because I just looked at it like, you know, when you put a mask on your face, you let the mask air dry, and when it's done, you wash it off, and the dryness of the clay helps to exfoliate any dead skin on your face or bacteria that was caught in your pores. So I wanted the same thing for my hair. Any type of product buildup that was sitting on my strands, even though I washed it, but you know, just in case. Same for my scalp, any type of product buildup there. I wanted it to all just kind of dry up and rinse right down the drain with the mask. Now, I didn't let my hair get like completely 100% dry because that would have just taken way too long. I waited a couple hours and then I rinsed it out. My hair was actually much drier than I thought it would be. And once I had all the clay rinsed out of my hair was not like super buttery soft. Even though my curls look really, really juicy and moisturized, my hair was pretty rigid. And that was pretty much, you know, the goal of this whole process. It was to get anything that was on my hair or my scalp completely out. Now, if I maybe added more oil to the mask, my hair might not have been as rigid. So that's something to keep in mind when mixing your recipe. And be sure to have a very moisturizing leave-in conditioner ready to go before you style your hair. And probably the most important pro tip of them all when using this clay mask is make sure you rinse it completely out of your hair. Even when you think it's gone, stand under that water a little bit longer. The last thing you want to do is get out of the shower and find green dust floating through those curls. That's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed it, give me a big thumbs up. Share this video. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Remember to speak your greatness. Have a great Thanksgiving. And as always, thanks for watching.